Honorable Engineer Dominic Okafor, FNSE, member representing Aguata Federal Constituency, leads a strong delegation of Aguata leaders as House of Representatives House Committee on Environment holds public hearing. The motion on the need for urgent intervention in the gully erosion ravaging communities in Aguata local government area was sponsored by Honorable Dominic Okafor, July 18, 2023. The Chairman House Committee on Environment, Honorable Julius Wabojo Pondi, in his opening remarks, said, as the representatives of the people, it is their duty to call on all authorities of the state to address the challenges comprehensively and ensure implementation of sustainable solutions that prioritize the safety and well-being of the people.
And not to resettle the already affected persons. Mandate the Committee on Environment, Works, Emergency and Disaster Preparedness when constituted to take a tour of the affected areas to ascertain the level of damage done, liaise with relevant MDAs with a view to providing informed and lasting solutions to the situation. Also mandate Committees on Environment, Political Fund work, political funds, works, water resources when constituted to liaise with Federal Ministry of Environment, Works and Water Resources to make provision of funds in the 2024 budget estimate for the reconstruction of water drainage and erosion control measures to put an end to the double environmental challenges and also to construction of reservoir in more communities to collect more spring water to avoid the occurrence of flooding and erosion. Finally, the third one. The need to intervene in the gully erosion devastating communities in Aguata local government area of Anambra State. We have to get resolved as well. Urge the Political Fund Office and relevant agencies to carry out impact assessment of the affected communities and fund a remediation plan that will stem the tide of gully erosion in the area. As representative of the people, it is our duty to call on all authorities of the state to address these challenges comprehensively and ensure the implementation of sustainable solutions that prioritize the safety and well-being of our people.
The Speaker of the 10th Assembly, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, PhD, ably represented by the Minority Leader, Right Honorable Kingsley Chinda, in his remarks said, addressing this environmental concern is essential not only to the immediate well-being of the communities, but also for long-term sustainability of the natural resources. It is therefore the responsibility of the House of Representatives to ensure that decisive measures are taken to mitigate the effects of flooding and erosion and protect the environment, at the same time ensuring the lives and livelihood of the people is preserved.
Erosion and protect our environment, at the same time ensuring the lives and livelihood of our people is preserved. So I invite all stakeholders who are gathered here today to express their views and observations openly, contribute their expertise and collaborate towards finding a solution. At this juncture, I would like to express my appreciation to the chairman of these committees and all their members. I have full confidence in your capabilities to carry out these important tasks. In closing, I want to emphasize that we are all dedicated to creating a healthier, more resilient and sustainable future for every Nigerian. Together we will conquer these challenges and build a nation where every citizen can thrive and prosper.
The Right Honorable Speaker of the 10th Assembly, ably represented, declared the public hearing on environment officially open.
In line with our legislative agenda, the House will work with all relevant stakeholders to ensure a healthy environment, water resources and public health for all citizens. It is therefore the honor of the Honorable Speaker and his privilege exercised by my good self to declare this public hearing open. Thank you all, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
In attendance of this public hearing include Honorable Minister of State, Federal Ministry of Environment, Honorable Isaac Adekunle Salako, PhD, heads and permanent secretaries of various parastatals, agencies, and ministries, which include Ecological Project Office, Federal Ministry of Water Resources, among others. Other stakeholders, chairmen, and members of other committees, which are committees on water resources, works, ecological funds, emergency and data preparedness. Gully erosion has remained an age-long common problem in significant major towns in Aguata local government area, Anambra State, in southeastern Nigeria, leading to advanced threat to lives, infrastructure damage, which include access roads, bridges, and buildings, as well as environmental degradation, thus loss of biodiversity and habitats. The residents, community leaders have made frantic efforts to curb this menace through the practices of terracing and contour farming, soil conservative techniques, construction of catchment pits, reforestation, agroforestry, and permaculture, albeit their efforts have proved abortive over the years as the erosion depths continue to increase and expand. The severity of the erosion sites here in Aguata, according to experts, measure around 50 meters and above in depths, considered to be among the worst cases in southeastern Nigeria. This is due to geology and climate of the area. A huge number of ancestral homes, lands, and businesses belonging to indigenes and residents in the communities have been completely eroded, rendering countless people homeless. Others have fled their community for safety. A critical survey on the current state of the Achina, Oga, Umuchu, Ekulobia, Ibuku, and Aglozechuku towns, where gully erosion depths are highest, shows the devastation, misery, and helplessness of the people in the area as they call for national and international intervention. In his response, Dr. Salako, the Honorable Minister of State, Federal Ministry of Environment, shared his concerns for the victims in the communities where the gully erosion menace has left deep impacts. He pledged that they do its best to alleviate people's suffering in the area.
First, let me sympathize with our brothers and sisters in Aguata local government of Anambra State. We feel your pains, we sympathize with you, and let me assure you that the federal government and the Federal Ministry of Environment will continue to do everything possible to alleviate those pains.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, let me just call the attention of the Honorable Minister of Environment. I don't know this ad hoc committee that this government created. I hope it will build on the committee that was established by Muhammad Buhari, which was chaired by Professor Adam.
Absolutely,
because they have done a brilliant job. If you miss that report, you have missed a lot of things. Because intensive work was done on that flood mitigation, something like that. I read the reports in fact, it was a brilliant job that was done, and I hope Nigeria will implement the findings and the recommendations of that report. But please deliberate on that report. I think there are two reports. Thank you.
All right. The political office open now. What about
He's my director.
what is your
Federal Ministry
designation in the ministry?
I'm the Director of Erosion, Flood and Coastal Zone Management.
Erosion and flood. This thing is also erosion and flood. Like, I'm trying to link you to it. Okay? Well, all right, let's take it on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, honorable members. Good afternoon, honorable minister, and everybody here. When in 2017, we conducted what we call National Ecological Survey. 2017. We went to every town, every village, every local government in this country, and collected what we consider the major erosion sites. Yes, by that record, you rightly put it, Anambra State happened to be the erosion capital of the country. Having said that, there are a lot of misconceptions. You hear people calling us ecological fund office. We are not ecological fund office. We are ecological project office, because the fund is miles away from us. We do not control the fund. The fund is seated with our Accountant General of the Federation. If you ask me as I'm sitting here, I don't know the balance in the account. We don't have control of that fund. The same way every other federal government agency that assess a portion of that fund, go to Accountant General to assess fund, is how we go to assess fund approved by Mr. President for specific projects. So the fund is not under our control at all. But let's situate the fund properly. Ecological fund is an intervention mechanism established through the Federation Account Act of 1989. Of course, based on the recommendations of the Optimism Commission, to address the challenges, ecological challenges in the country. The Act was subsequently modified by Decree 36 of 1984, 106 of 1992, as well as allocation of revenue and federation account modification of 2002. The various modifications at different times altered the percentage deductions from the federation account. Federation account having to be the source of the fund. Now, the objective of this fund is simply to provide adequate and sustainable financial resources to enable government address serious ecological problems across the country and also mitigate their impact. Now, it would be nice to discuss the fund, and I want to thank this committee for this opportunity. The opportunity provides us a platform to educate the general public, the Nigerians, about the fund and how the fund is distributed and who utilizes this fund and for what purpose. Now, the fund is dedicated on first line charge to the monthly federation account accruals. And at the issue, the fund was wholly under the control of the federal government, where it is disbursed in accordance with Mr. President's directive. However, in 2002, state governments made a case for sharing this facility along the revenue sharing formula amongst the three tiers of government. And following the pronouncement of court in their favor, the federal government complied. Therefore, as present, the fund, which is 2.32% of the federation account, that the federation account monthly taking, is shared in this order. Of the 2.32%, federal government takes 1%. States take 0.72% and local governments 0.60%. So states and local governments actually take 1.32%, while 1% is what the federal government controls. Now, the implication of this adjustment and the sharing formula is that states and local governments are expected to utilize the fund directly to intervene on ecological problems in their respective domains. Because having taken the federal government to court, and insisted on taking your portion of the fund, we really do not expect that state government should start coming to federal government to now ask for funds again to handle ecological challenges. And at this juncture, I want to appeal to the National Assembly, to the press, to the general public, that I think it's time we hold the states accountable. Ask questions as to the utilization of their portion of the fund. Because there's this penchant, everybody talks about ecological project office, federal government. Nobody takes a look back at the states and local governments, what they do with this their portion. Now again, the federal government share has witnessed several legislations that brought a number of federal agencies into the basket of utilization. It is equally important to note that the federal government's share is always in the custody of the Aguata General of the Federation and released only on the directive of Mr. President for ecological intervention. Now, the agencies drawing from the federal government 1% share. As at present, there are 4 other federal government agencies that draw from the federal government 1% share in different percentages as provided in their respective enabling laws. NEMA, by virtue of section 13(2)(b) of its act, draws 20% of the 1% federal government share. The National Agency for Great Green Wall, by virtue of section 12(2)(b) of its act, draws 15% of the 1% share. The Northeast Development Commission, by virtue of section 14(2)(b) of its act, draws 10% of the federal government's 1% share. The National Agricultural Land Development Authority, NALDA, by virtue of section 16(2)(a) of its act, draws 10%. This simply means that 55% of the federal government 1% share is taken by these 4 agencies. Therefore, the balance of 45% is what is available to Mr. President to intervene on ecological problems nationwide. It is simply because of this misconception. A lot of the general public out there, once we mention ecological fund, they believe it is domiciled in that office. And there's this impression that the office is sitting on a pot of money, that anybody goes to, take. Due to that general misconception, suggesting that the office and the fund were one and the same, Mr. President approved the change of name from Ecological Fund Office to Ecological Project Office in September 2021. The former name, the affected area, and he also said they have attached document in what we are right.
I think he has made some clarifications, that's why I'm saying you did a very good job on your presentation. Sorry, Chairman. Like he suggested, we engaged the consultant. We went a step further to engage the consultants to help us with this problem. But the information is that it was in conjunction with some
not our office.
And after that, it was captured in your database. I have letters here, that's why I sent you letters.
Yes, if
from your office to me, saying that these have been captured in the database. So impliedly, you have done your own bit.
Okay.
So thank you so much. That's why I say you did a very good job by clarifying all those steps that we need to take.
Chair, maybe this is also an opportunity. We believe in the ecological project office that every communication must be completed. The cycle of a communication is when you send a message. If you don't get a response, it's not completed. So what we've done, we've adopted the policy that whatever mail that comes to us, there must be a response, whether it is good or bad. Therefore, every proposal that comes, if it meets our SOP, you will get the acknowledgement letter. So the consultant must have finished his job. made a submission, we've analyzed it, and it agrees with our SOP. That's why we sent you an acknowledgement letter. But let me also caution the public. Unfortunately, we are now musing with the idea of even stopping the issuance of acknowledgement letter. And probably when you bring your submission, we'll just start to receive. That should be enough for you, because we've had several cases of people coming up to complain, carrying the acknowledgement letter that they bought it for 10 million, that they say it's as good as, the project is as good as approved. And you just ask, did you know the second paragraph here? Now this is clearly bold. This is not an approval or an award, but merely an acknowledgement of your request. However they would win the public, people end up buying that document for millions of naira. So, which is making the office, we are beginning to have a routine whether to suspend issuance of that.
Yeah, but because I'm thinking, if the community that is faced with natural disaster like this one that we saw now, and by way of trying to report the agencies that are concerned, like what my colleague did now by doing a video, are you saying that is this going to be a piece of property that probably you may have money to go and hire consultants to do a project design before you will accept it? Is that what you are saying?
No. We already accepted it.
You also add that last year, I also went that extent. You send the consultant, send the pre-qualified by the good companies. As a matter of fact, the one day last week that the letter is ready, so that we also do that, we was not able to go to companies.
Let me place a devil's advocate. Mr. Chairman, the permanent secretary, the permanent secretary has made mention about one tragedy of this country. It's a tragedy of this country, where you need to have a community, and then you have to compromise the community to help them.
Yeah.
That's one of the tragedies of this country. And I don't know what I'm going to get after that. But the ecological project office is an office, not an agency. I believe it's an office. Yes. Huh? Yes. Okay. You compounded their problem. Because, Mr. Chairman, can I apply if that office can provide to the committee the projects they have executed, the location, the sponsors of the project, and how much was paid for the project and the contractor of that project for the last 2.5 years. No, I don't want to go 10 years. For the last 2.5 years, I know why I'm asking this question. I know why I'm asking this question, Mr. Chairman. Because the impression given to Nigerians, you won't get a project funded by ecological fund if you are not someone in this country. It's left nobody to them. If you are not someone in this country, if you are not influential, and so you compounded their problem. That's why people make money through their letters. You need to know why. I thought you would tell us why. Why people send your acknowledgement letters. So, Mr. Chairman, I would apply that this office is applied to this committee 2.5 years for the project they have funded. Those who have applied for the project to be funded, the contractor, and the amount. I saw apply, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman,
you came here with a file showing us most of the motions from the House. How many percentage of these motions from this House have you people funded? because we are the representative of the people. We are the ones dealing with the people that know the problems that we have in our various constituencies. When they were taking the first motion, the chairman is from the riverine area of this country. And you had him speak passionately about it. The same thing with us. You are looking at Anambra, that you say is the epicenter of erosion and blood erosion in this country. How many of those projects that come from the federal lawmakers have you attended to in the last 10 years? You find out that Mr. Chairman is less than 5%, if it is even up to 2%. So this should be clear. If you don't know somebody in that office, you cannot get anything done. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Clement, yeah? All right.
Thank you, my chairman and colleagues. Mine is a kind of a suggestion to the Ecological Project Office. In your submission, sir, you made mention of different agencies of federal government that are sharing from the 1% that accrues to the federal government to the president, or the presidency, sorry. Aside having the project office, have you thought of having a monitoring office, ecological monitoring office to maybe checkmate the different percentages that the presidency shares to these different agencies of government to be sure that it is equally utilized for the purpose it is meant for? Thank you.
Honorable, I just come here to you a year before. Okay, you read the first? Yes. You read the second? All right. Please, sorry, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, my colleagues, our guests. Mr. Chairman, sir, I just want to, first of all, to comment that we are permanent secretary. We are the permanent secretary. Your submission was very nice. Your submission, because I can understand that from the 2.something% of the ecological fund, the state grows 1.something states and local government, other agencies grow some certain percentage, and the federal government is left with, I think it's 4.45. So it is from the 0.45 that all these motions and other questions that will be accommodated. That's one. So at least we become knowledgeable before. You know, I'm a layman and all these kind of things, but now I become more knowledgeable about the. You know, I have all these problems in my own constituency, and you talk about insecurity. I became interested because in my constituency, I'm from Katsina State. The space was high level of nutrition. Most of the people living in the rural areas have now migrated to the local government headquarters. So we have all these monitoring crisis and other things. So we did all these ecological plans, shelter hand. So, permanent secretary, what I would advise as a former civil servant too is to be making some memos to the president, because we are not miles away from these funds. Sometimes it's the accountant general that is the custodian, because we are not, maybe you are not a self-accounting agency or institution. So your funds must be domiciled in the books of the accountant general. So what I would advise you is to be making memos to all requests, especially emanating from the National Assembly. My own will be coming soon, please. So, Mr. Chairman, mine is to commend this farmer because he has made a very nice submission as far as his political process. And he again indicated the Minister of State Department because we are short of money. So both the permanent secretary and the minister are miles away. I can believe they are miles away from this.
No, if it's miles away, we are kilometers away, even nowhere.
Okay, thank you very much for thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, honorable colleagues, and our guests. I want to appreciate you for the comments so far. I want to ask. Now, our brothers here will have 2 pieces of disaster. So I also must thank you for opening our reasoning to how important the funds have been apportioned to So what are we going to do at this point in time now? Because yes, it is true that our state is also drawing from that fund. People are also drawing from that fund. But one may not see truly, depends on how they are doing it. Or because I don't think anybody faces environmental disaster more than schooling Greece. It is terrible. Coastal erosion is terrible. You know. So if the local government and the state government are drawing from this fund, they must be seen to utilize this fund for which they are meant. Okay. Now you sounded like your answer time. Okay. Now our brothers, one of them have done a very good job. You have acknowledged receipt of it later, as well as the other person too. So I think when this letter comes, when you please, my colleague have done very well by moving the constituents from another from Spain, from Anambra to come here and see this public reference. So please, I do know, like I want to align myself with my daughter, Mrs. Chairman. You are not miles away. You are not miles away. So these are issues that we need to attend to. And again, this is very, very important to what the Chairman of the said. When you see community development projects in your community, then the youths and even grammar cooler become postcard demanding for funds. If you don't give me this, you will not be allowed to work here. A project that will benefit you is very sad. And at this time that we also appeal to our people that when you see, sometimes people very sad, you see company like Airtel, Globe want to install masks in your place. People are demanding, which you use to make or to get connected to the world, you will still be asking for money, otherwise don't fix it, we will not accept. So these things are actually not helping development, they are very much backward. So that having been said, Honorable Minister, these are fundamental issues. There should be some level of synergy between you and before I come to that, please, sir, you have also told us that unless certain criteria are met, they cannot be recorded in your database as a project that can be undertaken in the future. Those criteria that you mentioned must make us know them, so that we also relate those criteria to our colleagues. Because if you want to go by environmental issues, almost 360, almost everybody has environmental issues. Now the resolution that we have there, we'll be surprised that none of them are met criteria you mentioned now. So they are not aware of it. If they are not aware of it, that means we go and jump those materials somewhere because they are not they don't meet the criteria. And while the person be seated in his office waiting that you are implementing, you are jumping somewhere because it didn't meet the criteria that you wanted them to make. So please, if it is true declared, yes, please tell them that there are certain criteria that want to met before they can operate. And I also want to put it on record that in this country, in the political front, yes, I agree completely that it's no man in this country job that can be in the political front that they can implement. These are not too good for our country as well. We should try and see where issues that bother our people should be addressed frontally instead of looking at who is actually my friend, how can I help my friend with this. So that having been said, Honorable Minister, I can't thank you enough. Okay, let me just allow my colleague to down in
thank you, Mr. Chairman, for yielding. Well, I just want to conclude by once again thanking the Minister, but also emphasizing that some of the issues that were discussed here have been as a result of sometimes lack of synergy and cooperation between even the ministry and the Committee on Environment on the National Assembly. And I say this because last week or two, if you remember, Mr. Minister, we had a public hearing on a separate issue where the ministry was not represented. And the reason was because we were participating in the National Council on Environment. We were very shocked, and the day we made a call to you and you graciously responded to us on why the ministry was not present at that public hearing. The committee was not invited for the National Council on Environment. But I'm just trying to say, generally speaking, that there will be need to carry us along more in your activities, to engage with us more so that we know what you're doing. Some of these issues, if we are being briefed from time to time, reports and memos are sent to us, or we're even invited for some of the activities ongoing. I want to give an example, but I don't want to preempt my chairman. But just one example. For example, recently I read that no, it's not related to this. That the ministry signed an agreement with Cameroon on wildlife protection. We were not invited, we were not consulted, and there's a bill in the House on the same wildlife protection. So I think there's just need that when the ministry is doing activities, signing MOUs and agreements, conferences and workshops locally and internationally, always carry us along so we know what we are doing to create a better working relationship between the National Assembly and the ministry. Thank you very much.
Aguata delegations, ably led by Honorable Engineer Dominic Okafor, had at least 2 State House legislators in attendance who were also given the floor as lend their voices. Honorable Satoni Mwabike and Honorable Anayo Opaleke, members representing Aguata 2 and Aguata 1 State House constituencies in the Anambra State Assembly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to say 2 things. Mr. Chairman, there's a reason why we took the pains to fly down to Abuja to join you in this very important city, Mr. Chairman. There's a very sad incident I want to bring to your attention and to the attention of your committee members. Mr. Chairman, in 2017, in Umudeke village in Ibuku, incidentally, Ibuku is the hometown of the honorable member representing Aguata Federal Constituency. A school girl named Chinaza Okafor died in her father's house. She was drowned during rain. Their house was just flooded, and that girl died. That is the high point of this godly erosion incident we have in Aguata. And it's something that makes me shed tears every time, Mr. Chairman. The worst thing that can happen to a child is to die right in her father's house, a place where he or she feels most secure. What is the offense of this innocent child? Because there was only erosion. Mr. Chairman, Anambra State, like has been already acknowledged by the Honorable Permanent Secretary, is the erosion capital of Nigeria. Our governor, Professor Soludo, has been doing a lot with the mega resources within the state coffers to see what could be done with these erosions. But Mr. Chairman, there's no way the state can do this. We are just appealing. If the federal government, through this ecological project office, comes to the aid of Anambra, the people of Anambra State, people are really dying. And even if it's not the full restoration of these areas, even if it is palliative, we don't mind, because life saved is better than life lost. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and other chairman, the chairman of this great committee. Sitting before you is one of the member representing Aguata 1 constituency, and the deputy chairman, House Committee on Environment in Anambra State House of Assembly. So, Mr. Chairman, I bring you greetings from Anambra State House of Assembly. I'm then now to solicit on behalf of Anambra to intervene in the gold erosion in Anambra State, most especially in my constituency. Mr. Chairman, it may interest you to know that out of the 6 communities I represent in Anambra State House of Assembly. All of the 6 communities have erosion threats, and we've lost lives, buildings, and other properties. Yes, I understood the fact that the permanent secretary on project office, yes, he said 1%, out of the 1%, that's 45% is what they have. But then we are soliciting, even if from the 45%, 5% of the 45% out of the 1% will do us good. Because here, like in my community, actually as we reside, we have a connected local government, Aguata and Orumba South. Now we can't access Orumba South. Orumba South is just an agreement the community. And although we Aguata can access Orumba South. And just one poor community. I don't from Aguata can access Orumba, one poor. But we can't access it because of the oil erosion. Please, we need the intervention. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, distinguished members of the National Assembly. Thank you.
This public hearing, put together by the lead committee, the House of Representatives Committee on Environment, dealt extensively and satisfactorily on dual subjects on the need to intervene in the gully erosion ravaging communities in Aguata local government area, Aguata federal constituency in Anambra State. Intervention on the flooding menace at Alono community in Nsukka Igweze federal constituency in Enugu State. Referred to Committee on Environment, Works and Water Resources. Secondly, on the need to end open defecation in Nigeria and increase the number of toilets annually. Also referred to House Committee on Environment and Water Resources, ended with high hopes and great anticipation of solutions.
The local government or the state government should all be out. I think that would be like online and our members should take note of that. Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity, but I want to extract 2 things from the farm sector, that hopefully we are likely to consider these 2 requests. Can we take it so that we reflect it in our report?
Thank you.
Is it a given that you will do everything possible to see what you can do to consider this request? Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I want to thank the people. Put together all of these and all of these and value fact from Malika who is fact and he just learned that this is a work. Truly with this team, they will be very, very fantastic. I don't really have to do much happening as a class. Do everything possible for so having said, I want to ask that we move somebody move for an audience.
Mr. Chairman, sir, the Deputy Chairman of this committee, distinguished colleagues, Honorable Minister and Team, I have exhausted all that we have on this table. My name is Dr. Idara Usman Bakari. I represent Aspia Umba, our federal constituency, and from Borno State. I hereby move that this meeting be adjourned. Say that I so move, Mr. Chairman.
Yes. My name is Clement Jimbo, representing Abakat Nemika Federal Constituency. I hereby second the motion as being moved by my colleague. I so second.
Fellow colleagues, if you agree that I say aye, against the name, the aye have it. This house is ever just
yeah, thank you.
We are good, thank you.
Thank you.
particular because of the erosion in Aguata in particular. So far so good. This is a good step in the right direction. Today a lot of complaints were given out. Already our House of Representatives have submitted and moved the motion. So the hearing was today. And I think it's the right step in the right direction. And I'm sure in no longer time again we'll get results.
Yeah. So you are here on
House of Representatives Committee on Environment fixed today, in the second day of May 2024, as a day for public hearing on gully erosion. And that's why we are here, because Anambra is the headquarter, is the capital, the headquarter of erosion sites in Nigeria. So, and specifically our town, our local government, Aguata, wonderful. In fact, today I learned a new thing, because during the public hearing, both the chairman, House Committee on both works, environment, and all whatnot, various committees, we are there to witness the public hearing. And the most interesting thing is that the permanent secretary of Ministry of Environment and Ecological Project Office, all of them were there. In fact, they addressed us, and we are really impressed with what we heard. And I can tell you, based on what we heard today, at the end of the day, the federal government will give accelerated hearing and attention to our plight, because our community, our local government is ravaging, and we need federal government intervention. In fact, that's why we're here.
Well, I think the public hearing is a very good one. It took very long, but the Committee on Environment of the House of Rep, they were very patient. They took time to talk to the Minister of Environment. They took time to talk to the Permanent Secretary of the Project Office, the Ecological Project Office. So it was a very good one, and I'm optimistic that Aguata, these communities in Aguata are going to benefit from this public hearing.
It was on a subject matter that has been ravaging our community. It's actually on erosion, and it has made so much effort to see how the ecological office can come to our aid. So that's why we're actually here. Yeah, I must say, with the turnout of events, the engagement at the meeting, I must say that personally I was pleased and happy, and I have high hopes that we've complained to the authorities, and I know our rep will leave no stone unturned to see that he gets the desired results.
Yeah, we have come for invitation to deliberate on gully erosion in Aguata local government. Yes, a very big successful one, because so many things we are reviewing, things we don't even know has come to light. So we are going home filled up.
Well, I came here in solidarity with our rep member, the person of Honorable Okafor, to defend the erosion problems we have in our Aguata Federal Constituency, which the House Committee on Environment invited us for a public hearing. Even before the presentation, it was already a success, because the Honorable Okafor packaged the erosion problems in Aguata Federal Constituency and presented to the committee even before we arrived. So our own participation is to augment his own presentation already. And from the proceedings of today's hearing, it was indeed a huge success.